am Judy Zelina, and today on the Mill Creek Government Channel we have a really fun and interesting show for you. I am taping today down here in beautiful Presque Isle on this beautiful day, and we have some familiar faces joining us. Right next to me we have Dawn Benzakowski.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Dawn. And we also have Brian Gula, and they've been on our program before. But today we're here and we're going to be talking specifically about the International Coastal Cleanup. Thank you for having me down here today.
Well, thank you. It's a wonderful day, and we've had a wonderful summer. Unfortunately, we have many millions of visitors that come to the park every year and traverse the shoreline of Lake Erie at various locations, and sometimes those people leave behind some of their remnants, some litter. Sometimes other litter rolls in from different places. Up in the upper watersheds, you can be in some places 15 miles away from the lake, and there's an influence of litter that eventually makes its way to Lake Erie or Presque Isle Bay. So even though we don't see it all the time, sometimes you really have to look for it, and you'll find it. It's out there. So our goal is to make sure that we make people aware that there are litter problems. That's not an overwhelming problem here at Presque Isle, but we want to make people aware that litter, it's not only unsightly, it can be hazardous to wildlife as well. And
this is what entails the whole reasoning for the International Coastal Cleanup, right, guys?
Absolutely. That's correct. Yep.
We've talked about this before, but for our viewers who are not familiar with this, when did this begin, and actually, when did it start here in Presque Isle?
Well, International Coastal Cleanup started in 1986 in Texas. It started out as merely a beach cleanup, and it's evolved since 1986 to over 100 nations around the world. And the whole idea is to not only pick up the trash, but it's to gather the data and find out what types of trash are actually out there and being deposited, and try to pinpoint the sources of where that trash is coming from. Gives us an idea here in Erie County if trash is actually making its way in from other states. I know a couple years ago we had a trash can that rolled in from Metro Parks, and Metro Parks is part of Cleveland. So it rolled into a Raccoon Park at Lake Erie in Springfield Township. So that's pretty far, long distance for a trash can that's all kind of cut up to come from Cleveland. So,
you know, that brought up a point too. When I think of Presque Isle, of course, and Erie and the International Coastal Cleanup, I think just of the peninsula. But Brian, there's more locations than just at the peninsula, aren't there?
Well, sure. You know, we are a complex here at Presque Isle State Park, and we also have a new state park that's just west of here, out by Elk Creek, and it's called the Erie Bluff State Park. And there again, we have a nice stretch of shoreline for the public to go and enjoy. And you know, when you have this debris and this litter that you know, kind of takes away from the natural beauty of our lands and our shorelines and our water systems, and you know, and that's what, you know, when we recreate, we want to enjoy the outdoors.
Exactly.
You know? And that's our goal. And it's for me as an educator, it's a very valuable tool to be able to take someone out on the shoreline at the Erie Bluffs or Presque Isle and take a look at some of this debris, analyze it, think about, you know, where is it coming from. You know, some items may be left from picnickers that maybe left some things behind, but there's some really interesting items that you find washed up on the shoreline. And so then you kind of have to think outside the box and take a look at our prevailing winds coming from the west. You know, Lake Erie is a very large body of water, so there's a lot of items. Folks that are out perch fishing, if something goes over the side of a boat, it very possibly could wash up on the shore of Presque Isle or Erie Bluffs, or our entire shoreline for that matter.
And that's true. I mean, we wouldn't even think of that as littering. It fell overboard and it's in the water, so you don't give it a second thought. But you can be picking it up miles away.
That's correct. And the thing is that the people that are responsible are generally using the shoreline and taking that trash away Typically, those are the folks that, because they're civic-minded and civic-oriented, and they care about where they live and where they recreate. A lot of times, those are the people that come out and volunteer for this type of an event, because this is really a volunteer-driven event. We wouldn't be able to collect as much trash as we do, and have those people diligently collect the data associated with the trash. Last year alone, we had 1,440 people that came out of the woodwork to help us out with this cleanup. And
how wonderful!
It's fantastic.
How would somebody decide, if they decided to get on board with this program? How do they get involved?
Well, September 17th is the cleanup. It'll be the 9th cleanup up here along the Lake Erie shoreline.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine. It's from 9 in the morning till noon, so we're not asking for a big commitment.
No,
and
it isn't.
The whole idea is, if you have a favorite beach here at Presque Isle and you want to come down that day and sign up, you're able to do that. If you live out in the northeast area or out in the Girard area, there are locations in those places that you can find and go to there as well. Our goal is to kind of give volunteers and folks who want to participate some ownership in this, that they don't have to go far and wide to get to their favorite spot. The best way to do this would be to go to goerie.com/coastal cleanup, and there's a registration form right on that webpage that you can fill out and decide which place you want to go and put your name and phone number in, and we'll get a hold of you.
Oh, how easy. See how easy
It's
it is
simple.
to sign up for it?
It's simple.
How many miles of shoreline have been cleaned?
Well, there are, counting all both sides of Presque Isle, we have 76.6 miles of shoreline up along the in the lake. We count stream miles as well as shoreline. So over the number of 9 or 8 years that we've done this so far, I would say we've cleaned a couple hundred miles.
Wow.
That's a phenomenal number. But it's it's over and over again, and that's one thing that really it really gets people's. It makes them very angry. It turns anger into action. We'll have people that come out here and they'll do a cleanup on one day, and then they may come back 2 or 3 days later and they're going to see trash on the shoreline exactly where they picked it up 2 days or 3 days before. And
that is going to upset them.
It upsets them, but it turns them into it turns their anger into
they become an
action.
advocate.
Absolutely.
Now, Brian, you've been out here helping at the cleanups also.
Oh, yes.
What do you think is the number one item of trash that you guys pick up here?
Well, I would have to go with plastic.
Okay.
Just a variety of different types of plastic.
Like bags and
bottle cap lids, cups, plastic cups, plastic bottles. But it's kind of between cigarette butts and plastic really seems to be the two items that we find a lot of on the shoreline. And what a lot of folks don't always realize too is that some of these items, it takes a very long time for it to break down in the environment. And so it's really up to very committed folks to come out and pick up this trash, or it'll just be there. It'll be there for a very long time. And an event like this, what it does, I think, for me and for volunteers that participate in this event, is they are showcasing their stewardship. It promotes good stewardship of the land and of the water. And it really gives the people that participate, I mean, I'm sure they already have an appreciation for nature, but when you do something like this, you have a greater appreciation once you see what's out there.
Okay, once you collect the items, I believe Waste Management partners also.
They do. They've been a wonderful partner since we started back in 2003 with the cleanup up here along the entire lakeshore. Waste Management takes the trash that we generate. It's disposed of at Lakeview Landfill, and I work with the staff up there, and every year they're on board with us. So it's a wonderful partnership that we have with them.
Okay, now they also recycle. When you pick up the plastics, they separate all that for you also, don't they?
Well, we typically will separate out the recyclables from the
Before you
trash.
even throw it away.
Right.
Good.
So if we're finding cans and bottles and that type of thing, we'll actually have the volunteers put those recyclable materials in a separate bag that's color coded. It's usually a light blue colored bag, and then we'll make sure that those are separated out, and we'll try to get weights of those because we want to encourage people to recycle as well. We don't want to. Our goal is to not only pick up the shoreline, but it's to educate the people that are doing this, and educate the public that when we're finding quantities of bottles and cans that are able to be recycled, there's really no reason for that to be happening along the shoreline. That should get right into the waste stream that goes to a recycling facility, but we still find it year after year after year.
Okay, now if I sign up for the cleanup, I'm going to come down here. What exactly am I going to have to do, and what are going to be my responsibilities?
Well, really, we're going to keep it pretty simple for you. All you're going to have to do is...
I like simple. Yes, I do.
Yeah, this is a great event. Our main location site is the Tom Ridge Center. So all the visitors, participants are going to have to do is come into the Tom Ridge Center, sign up with us, and then we provide you with the bags and the gloves, everything that you need. And also these data cards, because again, this event really is all about collecting the data and really figuring out where these items are coming from. And then if these folks have a site that they are really passionate about, or if they're not sure, then I send them to a location of my choice. Anywhere on Presque Isle. And Presque Isle, 3,200 acres, we have a lot of areas that I can send folks to, to collect items. And there's certain areas on the park, because of the way the waves move in the wind direction, there's certain areas that get more trash than others.
So, and you're aware of these because you're here every day.
Absolutely. I have everything. I have everything mapped out. I know where all the biggest litter collection sites are on the peninsula.
Brian Wood, yes.
So usually those larger groups, college level groups, high school groups, I'll send them out to those bigger areas.